In the case that you haven't heard, there have been some major Star Wars news coming out. Two things that I really want to talk about. One, not so great, and I'm pretty worried about. And the other, I could not be more excited about. Let's talk about the two different things right here, right now. First, let's start off with the thing that I am extremely worried about. It's not looking good because Taika Waititi, if you didn't know, is going to be making a Star Wars film, and it's probably not going to be that great. There's this article from Variety. I'm not going to go through the whole article, obviously, but just very simply, Taika Waititi says that his Star Wars film is basically going to make a lot of people mad, and that is super unfortunate because that is the last thing we need as Star Wars fans. We're already super divided among the people who like the Disney Star Wars and people who are okay with it, and then there's like that other group that are like, no Disney Star Wars ever. What seriously worries me about the Taika Waititi movie is that we see what he did with Thor. He had one really good Thor movie, and the rest of them, I think he just butchered the character, ruined his storyline, his story arc. It's going to take a lot for that character to come back from what he did to the character. He's also been on record saying that he only took the Marvel projects for the money. He didn't really care about the MCU. I think where Taika Waititi specifically shines is in comedy movies, like his newest one about the Samoan soccer team. I'm really excited to watch that, but I think he needs to stay away from Marvel and stay away from Star Wars. Now, onto the one thing that I could not be more excited about. I've said this has needed to happen for pretty much as long as I've been a Star Wars fan and learned about Dave Filoni. If you didn't know, Dave Filoni's behind some of the best pieces of Star Wars content. I'm talking Clone Wars, I'm talking Rebels, I'm talking Ahsoka, I'm talking Clone Wars, I'm talking Rebels, I'm talking Ahsoka. I mean, this guy knows Star Wars. He was basically mentored by George Lucas himself. George hired him on for Clone Wars specifically, and he really took him under his wing and taught him everything there is to know about Star Wars, and he especially displayed that in the first season of Ahsoka. And now, Dave Filoni is named the Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer. This is literally the best thing that could have happened to Star Wars, in my opinion, at the very moment, other than maybe them selling it back to George Lucas and him kind of picking up where he left off. But not only that, he's going to be creating and coming up with the new series and movies that Star Wars is going to do in the direction that they want to go in. He's also already exploring the options for Ahsoka Season 2, which was one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars content of all time. Now, this is very big news. If you didn't know, South Park did an episode making fun of Disney and Kathleen Kennedy. Shortly after that episode released, like maybe a week and a half or two, this comes out that he is now going to be leading Lucasfilm, which is what most of us fans have been saying from the first place. And this is also so significant because Kathleen Kennedy is not really one to give up basically any power that she's gained after George Lucas picked her to head Lucasfilm, and she immediately went back on all of her promises to him. But this is very good news for us Star Wars fans. If you're not excited about this, I really can't think of a better person other than George Lucas himself to take this position. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time like going in depth on these articles. You can definitely go check those out. You saw them here, and I'll put a link for them both in the description below if you want to go read them in full length for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, the Taika Waititi film probably not going to do that great. It's probably not going to be that good. And that's mostly because of what he did to Thor, and also because he kind of just seems to take jobs for the money rather than him actually caring about the characters he's making movies about. That's not even to say that he's a bad director. I think he's a really good comedy director. I'm very excited to go see his soccer movie. On the other hand, though, we now have Dave Filoni making all the creative decisions for Lucasfilm. This is the best thing to happen to Star Wars in years. You might have already heard about this, but I just feel like I need to come on here and give my opinion on it because I've been thinking about it. And the amount of things that Dave Filoni could do with Star Wars, I'm not necessarily saying that he would erase the sequel trilogy, but you really can't say it's not a possibility. I think that would bring a lot of Star Wars fans back and get a lot of people really excited. Obviously, you chase away some of the sequel fans that just like stand over Daisy Ridley, but you can even bring her back in some capacity and make her some other character. I don't think that's the most likely thing he's going to do, but I do think Star Wars is on a very good track, much better than it previously was. It just still has to deal with the sequels, and if they continue to go down that line, that rabbit hole of stories, they're gonna have to make them make more sense. But that's just my opinion. I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this not so good news, but also this fantastic news. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.